Schmidt with ShotTech LLC. In the midst of this pandemic, we started doing emergency preparedness sessions, webinars, and pro tips. I'm going through old emergency preparedness supplies, some of which I have not gone through since I put them together, and that may have been as far back as 15 plus years ago. This is both a bug out bag box that you could just wheel over to your car, throw it into your car, and leave. Also, bug in you could use to stay in. So this is, I don't really know what's in here. I took a glance at it really quick. So I'm going to go through it. I got the trash bag next to me for trash, and I got a bin next to me for keepers, and we're going to go through here, and we're going to see what emergency preparedness items me and the family have been relying on, and where my head was at when I was a teenager and I started this whole process. So first thing I did when I opened this up earlier was there's just a lot of water that was on top, water bottles and things. I had poured those out, and then the rest, that's when I decided to do the unboxing video. So at first glance, we have these emergency rations. These have a 5-year shelf life, so these are going to get thrown out. This is 3,600 calories. That's getting thrown out. These are like rations, like sea rations, like for if you're on a ship, like Coast Guard and things like that. This is 2,400 calories, and these things are gross. They taste terrible, but you could make this last a really long time if you were just trying to make ends meet on a boat. Not really what I would want in one of these kits now, but that's where my head was at the time. And with a 5-year shelf life, these are 3 times past where they should be. So I'm just going to throw them out now because it'll probably be 15 years before I check them. Emergency water for a small bug out kit, not a bad idea. I'm going to look into when the expiration for these are, so I'm actually going to hold on to these. When you have a container like this, it's really easy to have a lot of empty space between the crevices, and you really want to pack that empty space with filler items. So these are just 2 filler items that I wouldn't keep necessarily in a bag, but I would use them to pack the crevices to maximize the space of the bin. I learned this trick when I was sending care packages to my brother and he was in the military. Instead of packing a care package with packing peanuts and things like that, pack them with little items that can be useful. So we sent like candy bars and things like that, and we'd spread them throughout the care packages. More rations. Oh boy. Dish soap. Probably still good, so that's going to get kept. What is this? Ammonium, magnesium citrate. So that's laxative. Probably still good. When you eat sea rations, things like that, things that are dehydrated, you're probably going to get seriously constipated, so that's good to have. Looks like there's going to be a lot of food in here. The shelf life on this stuff is not so good, so we're going to want to throw this stuff out. If this is pasta and it's 15 years old, probably going to throw it out and just replace it with new stuff anyway. Even though it might still be good now, technically, it just loses its nutritional density. So it just becomes very fibrous. So you actually pass it through your body and you're not actually getting any nutrition out of it. And it just becomes bland and very gross. I know that because I've tried. Things like this, good to have still. Looks like it's kind of bent, but so lots more of that on the bottom. Empty water bottle, it's good to have. Oh, this is cool. So this is something I used to pack in old bug out kits. The idea was you could take a bottle such as this, hook it up to one of these tubes, and then boil it, and it would go into the next container. And that was an early filtration idea I sort of had. With these kind of water bottles, I wouldn't do it. They're not designed to be boilable. Kind of a good idea, but probably not good in practice. But hold on to those. Smoke grenade. Another one. Another bottle. Stainless steel water bottle. This one actually might be good for boiling because it has no paint on the outside. I don't know what this is. 6 magnetic clips. I don't know why those are in here. Another water bottle. This, I'm not really sure what this is. Oh, I know what this is. This is a water bob. There's probably in here is the spigot for it, but this goes into a bathtub, and you can put this in a bathtub. You put this in a bathtub, and it fills the whole bathtub with water, and then you can use that water, you know, as you go. So as soon as the pandemic starts and you're worried about your water getting turned off, you can fill that up, and it's really great to have. Next are medications. I'm not going to go through what the medications are, and I'm going to blur this out in the editing process, but lots of medications. Set those to the side. Lots of medications and prescriptions and stuff. Stool softener.
Why would you need stool softener?
If you're using rations and emergency preparedness food, you might have a constipation issue. A lot of people are used to fresh food, and when you're using bug in, bug out items, you're typically not getting from fresh produce unless you have a garden or something like that. But so constipation can become an issue. It can get really nasty. Old military surplus flashlight. Gold Bond foot cream.
Why?
And a lot of this stuff, just for during an emergency, you're on what's called you're on your own time, yo-yo time. That was a term developed by a guy named Jeffrey Rawls, who kind of wrote the Prepper's Playbook. And you're going to be doing a lot of stuff on your own, and you're probably, like right we are now in a pandemic, going to be washing your hands a ton. So having creams and stuff that take care of your hand, that keep your hands soft, is going to allow you to keep washing your hands without your hands getting dry and irritated. And if you're walking a lot and doing a lot of labor around where you're staying, it's good to have lotions and things like that for your skin. Because if your skin gets irritated, then you're not going to want to do it because you're going to be damaging your skin. So anti-diarrheal. Here we go on the opposite side. So you want the stool softeners, but you kind of also want the stool hardeners in case you get diarrhea. Especially if you're boiling your own food and stuff like that. So here we get to the spigot for that water bob. So there's where that goes. So this goes in the hole of the water bob, and then you can sort of pump it out and pump the water out as you go. Cool stuff. Since you're on your own time when things like this happens, it's good to have stuff for kids. So you have animal and bird tracks. You can walk around the house, pull out the cards, and identify the different animals and critters that are coming by. Lots more food. All of that is getting trashed. These are nice, like, sort of stuffers. You can go through all your book collections and things like that you're probably not reading on an everyday basis. But good to have in a kit because as the time passes, you can read this stuff. So it's small, it's thin, it works, it's nice, it's good. Same idea here. This is kind of self-explanatory. What's nice about this is you're probably not going to be bugging in just by yourself. You're probably going to be bugging in with other people, family members and stuff that may think differently than you. So you can hand this to them and they can read and peruse. Another water bob, but this one's a portable container, probably 5 gallons or something like that, 2.5. So you fill it up and then you can sort of transport it, take it with you. Boot polish, shoe polish. If you have things like chiggers and other bugs and stuff that get in your skin, this is an old way of taking care of that. A lot of food. That's going to get thrown out wholesale. Let's see what this is. Toothpaste and stuff. Potassium iodide tablets for 3 Mile Island was fairly close to us, so that stuff's good to have. Dehydrated fruits. This is probably actually still good. I'll check on that. But yeah, you can see the date there. 2015. That's the last time. Or that's the expiration date. So this expired in 2015. So we'll see about that. It's probably still good. But with stuff like this too, it is expired. But now we can actually break this out and use this and eat this. So it'll come out of the kit, but it'll go into our pantry and we'll just eat it and use it. Catadine water filter. So in here is just a water filter, great to have in a bug out kit, such as this, or a bug in kit rather. So it helps you pump water, more meds. So underneath all this is just canned goods, you can see. So one of the things that's inefficient here is all the empty space that's between the cans, and that I would just in the future pack with sort of fix-ins like tea lights and things like that that are useful but help fill the space. So I hope this video was helpful. This is where my head was at in terms of emergency preparedness about 15 plus years ago. So there's a lot that I would do differently, but the best thing to do is just to start somewhere. It's good to just get that in one space so that you have it when you need it and you know where it is when you do. I'm Grant Schmidt with Shot Tech LLC. Let me know if this was helpful for you. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe.